You've got an optimized listing, you have great reviews, yet for some reason, the reservations still aren't coming in. It's your pricing. I promise you, I'm gonna solve that for you in this video today. I am an Airbnb investor and all of my properties are in the market top 1% in both occupancy and nightly rate. What you're seeing is into my Airbnb account insights dashboard. I have those metrics for every market I'm in, multiple markets in multiple countries. In another video, I take a more detailed look at my whole account, every listing in my Airbnb accounts dashboard. Now, this listing is going to be slightly different than my other pricing videos, which I recommend you watch. This one, I'm gonna introduce you to some customizations, and I'm gonna reintroduce you to my flexibility concept. Pay attention because once you stack up a few of my optimizations, you will start to get the algo boost on Airbnb. Right now, you're probably feeling like I'm doing changes, but I'm not really getting any results. There will come a point pretty soon, you'll know after this video, when Airbnb will bless you. You'll just start getting a bunch of reviews, occupancy goes up. What happens when occupancy goes up? We raise our prices. This is the cycle I'm going to bring you to. First things first. When do we apply a customization? This is important. We have to start here because when I do private consultation calls, almost always the host has a bunch of customizations, and when I ask them why, number one, they can't give me an answer, and number two, they don't really even know what the customization does. That's bad. So let's go back. Why are we going to use a customization? We use a customization under one scenario because we notice a booking trend that we want to reverse or we want to alter. So then the next question is, well, what is a booking trend? Let me give you an easy example and then we'll get into a bit more complex examples. The easiest example is, let's look at your calendar. You probably had a listing like this where all of the weekends are getting booked, but the weekdays aren't. That is a booking trend you're noticing or a pattern. We don't want that pattern, so we need to either increase the weekend prices or maybe decrease the weekday prices or a combination of both. Another one is, let's say you're getting a bunch of far out bookings. Your booking lead time is twice that of the market. You know from watching my other videos that you're leaving money on the table if your booking lead time is much higher than your competition. That is a booking trend, a pattern. We want to reverse it. We want to make more money. So we would apply a customization in both of those scenarios, which I will get to soon, to counteract those trends. Now, what happens if your occupancy is good at your booking lead time? Let's say it's 30 days. Most listings on Airbnb coincidentally have a booking lead time around 30 days. So around 30 days, you're good. But then as the days get in closer, the last minute days aren't getting booked. What's happening there? That should trigger a customization you need. It's a booking trend. The trend is I'm not getting booked. My last minute days are not getting booked. Turns out my recommended pricing partner, and I think all of the legitimate pricing tools out there, have a customization to change this booking trend. It's called the last minute discount, but I use it in a specific way. I'm gonna show you with my screen now. For this video, I am going to be using the Belmonte Penthouse, my Airbnb in Colombia, to demonstrate all of the concepts I want to show you to improve your pricing and increase your occupancy on Airbnb. Now, the first one is going to be a gradual discount, as I mentioned. Custom last minute prices, okay? Now we have a bunch of options here. What I suggest you do is percent gradual up to 50% discount within your booking lead time. My booking lead time for this listing is 25 days. So I have put 25 days there. Why do we do that? And how does that change the booking trend that we don't like? If I didn't have this, fewer of my last minute days would get booked because their price would be too high. As days come in from your booking lead time, there is less and less demand. In other words, more and more of the guests who were gonna come for those dates have already booked. So you need to lower your price. Whenever demand dips, your price is going to dip. That's why when you have these big events like South by Southwest, for example, all of these conferences, the World Cup going to LA soon, right? Airbnb is the partner. The demand is going up, the price is going up. Connect those two concepts. So I gradually lower my price. What do other hosts do? They step. Okay, 15 days out. It's too late anyways. 15 days out, lower 10%. 10 days out, lower another 10%. 5 days out, lower 15%. That's not how demand works, so that's why we use gradual discount. Let me quickly show you the day of the week discount. Here it is. I have a negative 20% on Monday to Wednesday, plus 5% on Thursday and Sunday, and no increase on Friday and Saturday. So if you're noticing lower demand, represented by lower occupancy on your weekdays, use this customization. If you want me to send you 2 free tips about your online listing, online optimization, send me a message with your Airbnb link to my Instagram. The next really cool thing about my pricing tool here is they allow you to define your weekend days. So my weekend days in this market are not just Friday and Saturday, they're actually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that affects how my pricing tool is pricing each individual available day on my calendar. When I hear, and I hear it often, PriceLabs doesn't price my listing correctly. When I hear that, what I really hear is I don't know how to price my listing correctly with this tool. I don't know how to use PriceLabs. PriceLabs is not set it and forget it. If you're a male watching one of my videos, that would be like saying, hey, I bought the hammer, but it's not putting the nail in the wall. Well, the hammer is your tool. You have to use that. Or let's say you're a woman. You got lipstick, you bought some lipstick and you're like, well, I bought the lipstick, but my lips still aren't whatever color the lipstick is. Well, the lipstick's a tool, you got to use it, you have to use it to make it work. That's like PriceLabs. PriceLabs is a tool for you. They have a ton of customizations. Their basic algorithm, which is applied if you don't do anything, is great on its own, but we want to be better than the competition, so we're going in really deep and understanding how PriceLabs can maximally help us achieve market best occupancy. If you are thinking that, then I want you, after this video, I'm gonna recommend 2 videos that you should go to next. Okay, one is gonna be on customization, one is gonna be on base price. My pricing strategy is 2 steps. First step is base price and minimum price and booking lead time, booking targets. I explain all of that in 5 minutes. Next is customizations. This is an introduction to customizations. Let's continue here with a couple more, shall we? Adjacent factor, I want to show you. This is very cool. So let's say, remember our discussion about demand, right? So let's say we have a reservation from Friday, a nice long reservation all the way until Wednesday checkout. Well, there's a problem because when that reservation wasn't there, we could have got a reservation, a 2-night reservation on Tuesday, a 3-night reservation on Monday, a 4-night reservation on Sunday. All of those would have included Wednesday, and our calendar would have accepted those at that time with the availability. But once we get a booking, now we have to get someone who's checking in on Wednesday if we want 100% occupancy, which in a lot of markets that is possible. That reduces demand, right? Someone has to check in on Wednesday. That lowers the demand. So how do we address that? We went over it. We have to lower the price. Lower demand, lower price. So that's what the adjacent factor does. It says, hey, if there's a checkout whenever that day is, then lower that price. I have 50%. Yes, 50%, except on weekends. So except, remember I defined my weekends as Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's do one more, shall we? We're having fun, we're learning, we're making money at the same time. This is great. Custom far out prices. Let's do that. So what's the booking trend? There could be one of 2 booking trends. One is we're getting a lot of bookings far out. I already mentioned that at the beginning, right? We're getting where our booking lead time is very high. The other one could be I'm not getting any bookings far out. If your pricing strategy is optimal, those far out bookings should be coming at a premium. So the standard algorithm is a little greedy. It raises far out prices a little too much. Someone's not going to pay 20%, but they might pay 10%. So you would have to adjust that far out pricing to be lower by 10%. And while we're on the topic, I do not suggest you raise your minimum nights for far out pricing. That makes no sense. Why would you not want to get a 1 or a 2 night reservation at a 10% premium? You would, right? If you know what you're doing with your pricing, you're not going to increase your nightly rate based on if a guest wants to book far out, if you know your pricing. If you've liked this video and you want more pricing videos, show me with a like. If you have a specific topic you want me to cover in the future, tell me with a comment. I take this pricing topic to a very deep level within my members only program. Joining that gets access to me on a call once a month with between 5 and 10 other hosts. You get $500 for the lifetime membership, and you get access to my forum, which has a thread of very valuable member-only hacks and optimizations for Airbnb, things that unfortunately I've had to keep private because when I have publicized them in the past, Airbnb has removed them from the platform. The most recent one was a public video I did months ago about the photo layout, how you can get rid of that without deleting all your photos. Airbnb saw that video, they removed that hack, and it's very unfortunate because no one likes the photo tour, no guests and no hosts. Do you remember my flexibility concept? I want to reintroduce you to that now because that will help you increase your demand. There are times for every host where demand dips in the market. Maybe you just got a negative review like I did. I covered that story in another video recently. The flexibility concept helps you navigate these times where you can still get high occupancy, just not as much of a high rate, but you still get occupancy and still get reviews. So it's called the flexibility concept. I have a whole video that goes over it, but I'm going to reintroduce it here. It says that you have a lever on your Airbnb. You can increase the flexibility or decrease it. When you increase the flexibility, you increase your demand. Now, the obvious one is lowering your price. Lowering your price increases your pool of FPGs. That increases your demand. That one is obvious. Some less obvious ones are changing your cancellation rate, adding some kind of a service like airport pickup, earlier check-in or later check-out. You can make yourself pet friendly. You can increase your availability. You can decrease your minimum nights. Remember, this is all temporary in those times of low demand. Airbnb rewards the best listings, not the best properties.